Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys, back in today's video with another, I almost said Marvel Legends. Yeah, for the first time in a few months, we are looking at a figure outside of the Marvel Legends line. We're taking a look at the Medicom Mafex Daredevil, which released last year. I had ordered this, and once it arrived, I put it aside in my room, completely forgot about it. Until the other day when I was tidying up, I was like, why is there just a big package here? Opened it, I'm like, oh yeah, I ordered all these action figures. That was a pretty cool, like, late Christmas surprise for myself. Taking a look at the packaging all around, again, it's what we have come to expect from Medicom Mafex. It looks very premium. All the poses you could put them in. All right, I am just so excited to get my hands on this figure and start posing him around. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Created by Stan Lee and Bill Everett, Daredevil would make his debut in Daredevil issue number 1 in April of 1964. 6 issues later, in Daredevil issue number 7, he would debut his iconic red costume, which is what this figure is based off of. I have taken a look at several Medicom Mafex action figures in the past, all of them being DC. I believe this is the first Marvel figure that I'm looking at for this channel. Although being a very simple design, like I can already tell a huge difference between this and its Marvel Legends counterpart. Just in the sculpt alone, you can see just wrinkles in that boot right there. There's a seam line going down the center of each boot. And on the feet as well, there's a line right there. And going around the sole too. And on the back as well. And what's pretty cool is that the boot is a different color from the rest of the leg. I can't tell which part is molded in which color. Whatever it is, like, it looks fantastic. I guess my only complaint for this part would be that ball joint for the ankle. The red isn't as vibrant as the boot, so it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. I feel like once you get this thing posing though, you'll hardly notice it. Going up and you see like lots of shadowing in between the crevices of those muscles. Yeah, it goes crazy on the back. Look at those calves. Yeah, I think the musculature is like perfect, especially when you go up to the thighs. It is much slimmer, you know, which I think is perfect for like a really acrobatic character like Daredevil. I think the physique so far is just perfect. And of course, the sculpt with the costume itself. You can see right here around the hip, there's like some wrinkles, incredibly lifelike, as this would be like a flex point. The butt. It never fails to make me smile whenever I see like companies add shading to the butt cracks. That also has some stretching going across it, and there's some more stretch marks like right here and on the side, and just shading all throughout. Like I said, with the lower legs, shading within these muscles right here and on the back too. We of course have a holster for his iconic billy clubs, an accessory which I'll probably get around to later. But the placement of them is just top notch, you know, it doesn't inhibit the articulation at all. You can move it out of the way if you wanted to. But looking beyond that, you could see the little strap that holds these billy clubs. It's painted in a brighter red, and it's the same color as the belt right here. And that wraps all the way around. I love the black paint in the middle right there for the buckle. Another little tiny critique is that, like, from some angles, this hip piece kind of has like McFarlane Toys diaper syndrome. But again, I think once you get it in some poses, like, you're hardly going to notice. Now moving up to the torso. Just like I said with the legs, it's showing a ton of musculature, but it doesn't go overboard with it. I think this build is perfect for Daredevil. I'm not going to lie, I was a little worried before I got my hands on this figure, because the build sort of reminded me of that Spider-Man Classics Daredevil. That's a super deep cut for anyone watching this video. Comment down below if you remember that figure. But luckily, it looks completely natural on this figure. It's a good cross between that Spider-Man Classics like skinniness and then the hugeness of like the Marvel Legends recently. And the abs, man, they put tons of shadowing, so they just pop out even better. And you have those muscles on the side as well. Lots of shading between those. Dude, he is just massive from behind. A pretty huge, but like yet slender frame. Man, they just nailed the musculature. You get to the front, the pecs are also very pronounced. Not too big though, and the DD. It's perfect, you know? One of my biggest complaints about the Marvel Legends versions is how you were hardly able to see them, at least for the 3-pack version. The shadowing that they add all throughout the figure really helps you to be able to tell apart, the logo from the suit. It is super bright and it is raised too, so it just pops out even more. And you see with the neck, lots of musculature and more shading. On the back of the neck too, wow, you get some wrinkles right there. And you get to the arms, I sound like a broken record, muscular but not like too much. Of course, like, it isn't like such a big figure, but the shading helps make it look a tiny bit bigger. And just like the boots, the gloves are a brighter red compared to the rest of the costume. And yeah, that also has some sculpt work in it. You can see a seam line on the bottom. All the hands are going to have shadowing effect on it, as well as some sculpt work. You see like a little seam line right there, right next to the thumb. Now going over the accessories. First up is this neutral expression head. The sculpt is very simple, I will say. Like, it doesn't go above and beyond, but I think that is enough. It looks fantastic. I really can't make any complaints here. Like, it looks great. While I do love the digital face printing of Marvel Legends, how they're able to pack in some very, very minute details, I do appreciate the more simplistic approach to it that Medicom Mafex have. The eyes are painted a different red color. It's kind of hard to spot on the camera, but in person, it is very clear it's a different color. And of course, get lots and lots of shading all throughout. Not a lot of other sculpt work aside from the horns and the ears. And next up is this angry expression head. Yeah, this one is great as well. Nothing really changes from the two heads. Yeah, even like the musculature in the forehead where the eyebrows are wrinkled up, that kind of remains the same. But the mouth, yeah, it is very different. You see his pearly whites right there. It's sculpted to a minute detail, so you could just tell every single tooth apart from one another. Yeah, really good. And then he comes with this yelling expression. Look at that mouth. Look at the depth of that sculpt. That is so cool. And same thing with the teeth. They're all like sculpted to the minute detail, and it looks so lifelike in that regard. The mask though, the expression doesn't really change. It's like still the same. Would have liked the heads to like progressively get more scrunched up. He comes with 2 fisted hands, 2 open neutral hands, some open hands with his fingers splayed out, some open hands in a knife hand strike pose, some open semi-grip hands, and 2 open C-grip hands. It feels super dangerous taking this piece out. I feel like the best way is to turn it to its side and then, just pull it out. It's on a really huge ball joint that plugs in right there. He has 3 different versions of the Billy Club. The one that I just showed where both of them are still in, and then this one where it's only one. And then another one where the holster is empty. And then for the actual Billy Clubs, he has one with a wire still on top, and then another one that doesn't have a wire. You can see some red from the hand rubbed off against the white. That kind of sucks. He also has this version with a bendy wire at the end of it, so you're able to pose that Billy Club or the end of it going out any direction you want it. But this one has a hook at the end, so he's able to grapple onto things and swing. And then he has both Billy Clubs with the wire attached to the ends of them. I don't really want to stretch it out right now during this portion. You'll probably see it posed around in other segments of the video. And a really fun accessory. Now going over the articulation, with a ball joint at the bottom and at the top of the head, his head is able to look back this much and look down a really great amount. Some insane pivot, and of course some side to side movement. His arm is able to move up this much, go back that much, and go forward like all the way. Wow, that's crazy. And there is like some drop down right there, rotation at the shoulder, an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow that's able to bend in this much, and a ball mounted wrist hinge, allowing it to move in pretty much any direction. With his 2 diaphragm joints, the one in the middle and the one at the bottom, he's able to bend back this much and go forward this much. And both of them have pivot and side to side movement. His leg is able to kick up this much, go out to the side a tiny bit, and go back like not really at all. Drop down so you're able to get some more movement. He has like a slight thigh swivel too. A double jointed knee that allows his leg to kick back this much. A ball mounted ankle joint that allows his foot to move in like pretty much any direction. And a toe hinge. And now going over the size comparisons, this is a portion of the video that I wanted to include, like which one is better, Marvel Legends or Medicom Mafex, but I think I want to save that for like a future video down the line. Anyways, let's go back to the size comparisons. Here we have the Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure Wave Daredevil and the Man Without Fear 3-pack Daredevil. And something that's interesting to note is that the Medicom Mafex is actually taller than the Marvel Legends version, which is just downright perfect because he fits in like a glove with other Marvel Legends figures. Here he is next to Iron Fist and Luke Cage, Elektra from the Man Without Fear 3-pack, and I want to say the Spider Build-A-Figure wave, West Coast Avengers Moon Knight and Secret Wars Wolverine, the Punisher, the Walgreens exclusive, and the War Journal 2-pack. Then we have Spider-Man Renew Your Vows and Amazing Fantasy 15. And then even more Spider-Man, we have Ultimate and 90s VHS, Prowler and Tombstone. And then we have a Bullseye custom that I just never got around to finishing. And Kingpin, Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Darwin and Morbius, Stan Lee and Squirrel Girl, and finally Jeff the Landshark and Spider Ham. Alright, time for my final rating and my overall thoughts. I think I'm going to give Daredevil here a final rating of 10 out of 10. Even with the small critiques I made throughout the video, I just cannot give it anything lower than 10 out of 10. This is like everything I have wanted from a Daredevil figure for years, ever since I was a little kid. The posability, the amount of accessories it comes with, the paint apps too, and the overall proportions, everything was perfect. Perfect. No, this is like literally a perfect Daredevil figure, and it makes me want to buy even more Medicom Mafex figures. In the meantime though, I'm gonna have a lot of fun posing Daredevil. So yeah, 10 out of 10. But hey, don't look at my butt. Yeah, that would do for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below what you thought about the figure. I would love to see your guys' opinions, and comment down below if you want to see me talk about more Medicom Mafex figures. I know I've been on a roll of just doing Marvel Legends as of late, but this video was so much fun to make, and I am kind of itching to make some more Medicom Mafex reviews in the future. In the meantime, like and subscribe and share with a friend. Anything you can do to support the channel would be greatly appreciated, and with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye. We have now going over accessory. What? When I got the Hobgoblin Wave Build-A-Figure Wave